Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another night of racing here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And I think the energy's pretty high here. We've got some new faces. We've got some, incredible stock, making their way here into the Woodbine Mohawk Park paddock, because this kicks off what's going to be a stretch for several weeks of some high octane stakes action, and we're so looking forward to it. We've got eliminations that are going to be contested. We've got some other stakes events that are going to be contested here tonight, and that's going to take place over the course of the next several weekends, as I mentioned. And I'm excited to be with you to take you through this action this weekend. And I'm also excited to have Randy Waples, the Hall of Famer, alongside me as well. And you were off last night. You got a chance to recharge, and you got to be charged up, because this is going to be a big couple of nights.
Yeah, it is. Kind of my favorite, one of my favorite times of the year, because a couple of these big races have always been very kind to me, the Payson Derby and the Maple Leaf Trot. But it also kind of makes me a little bit sad too, because I also know that means the summer's starting to wind down. When you see Maple Leaf Trot, Canadian Payson Derby, and the CNE, bad times,
Yeah, week one of the NFL.
What about when you were a kid growing up in Toronto? Like, was the CNE exciting, or was the CNE just meant that you were a few weeks left to go before you had to go back to school?
A little bit of both. To be honest, the CNE grew old for me only because I worked it for like 5 summers. Yeah, I used to sell smoothies at Booster Juice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, make smoothies there. So yeah, that was it was busy. I was there every day, so the the allure kind of wore off for me when you're there. Like,
but when you were a kid, though,
well, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Struggled at the games. I mean, the prizes probably weren't worth the amount of money that I was spending to try and win them. But
yeah. I was the same way. I loved going, but it just always makes me think that school was just around the corner. I wasn't a big school
fan. As I got
fan.
older, I realized probably better to invest that $50 or $60 playing some multis at the races than trying to win a stuffed toy at the CNE. So I feel like better bang for your buck, I'd say.
I would have to think, yeah.
Yep. And speaking of which, we've got a great card tonight. Obviously, not just the star power that we've got on display, but it adds to the allure when you have a couple of carryover opportunities. We have a pick 5 carryover kicking things off here tonight, and we've got a pick 6 carryover as well. And the last time you and I worked together, we did have a pick 6 carryover, and pretty good payout. I think it was $3,800 and change for 20 cents.
Yeah, yes,
and you
it
gave
was.
out the last winner of that sequence there, Gucci Sealster, at 17-1.
Yes, that was a good night on her. Raced very, very well. The interesting night. Now, why are we getting so many? Like last night, I was sitting at home watching it, and I mean, like, I couldn't pick my nose, let alone try to pick a winner. I mean, there are horses that are coming from everywhere.
Yeah, it's I always say maiden trots are maiden trot races, they're just so tough to handicap. And maiden races, I mean, when you have the same group basically racing week in and week out, you have to figure somebody's going to get the job done. But oftentimes you get horses that are overbet. I mean, Resolved, she has been taking on tougher, but I mean, she took a lot of support last night, and she's going to get there. I mean, she's been taking on tougher company in the grassroots level, but Wells Fargo, she dropped down off some, lackluster lines, but it was probably a group where she was going to be competitive against, and she got the job done.
And she was well meant.
She was well meant.
She a lot of moves, powered on the front end, and still got the job done.
But then you see horses also like, Cobra Kate, I mean, racing so well, but you can almost make the case sometimes, you understand the support she's taking, but at the same time, she's a susceptible favorite. And it results into some of these payouts, and a lot of people are just relying on these horses at a short number because they're coming off, really good performances. But at the same time, I mean, we've seen that in the past with some of these horses. I mean, you've driven so many horses. Some of them are just camera shy. As good as they race, they just won't get there.
I think sometimes we get a little lackadaisical that way, you know what I mean? And then what happens last night is like a slap back to the face. Now, I don't know about you, but tonight, I went looking for some prices.
I tried to do some value shopping in a couple of races, but, sometimes it can be tricky with some eliminations, right? And speaking of which, I mean, I'm curious to see how that board's going to look tomorrow night when we recap tonight's races. But we're going to recap last night's races and look at how the board kind of shook out the track plays like we always do. Again, more or less just kind of looks the same, right? Just top 4 finishers, by the time they're at the half, and they end up being the eventual winner. In elimination races, though, Randy, we often see so many 1s or 2s because especially, sometimes when you get these shorter fields, it just, when 5 of the 7 or 5 of the 8 make it, you're not going to get too much movement per se, but that also leads to potential upsets if the right horse, because these are good horses, and if they get some soft panels up front or they work out pretty good trips, I mean, every single one of them can sprint. So some of these, favorites or the horses that are the ones to beat, they land on the lead, and we see how many times have we seen a good horse on the lead get a breather, and then a pretty good one on his back as well will pick them off.
Yeah, and plus too, you got eliminations, right? Multiple eliminations. So when you have multiple eliminations, like say for the Maple Leaf Trot, you're basically taking all your best horses and you're splitting it right down the middle.
Yep.
So you're not getting a deep field. You're getting basically 2 eliminations of, some of the best ones in each one. And when they race, unless they have somebody that is going to attack, they more or less get everything their own way, so it's tricky racing tonight. But where I think that you can kind of maybe make yourself some money is that you're also fortunate. You're going to be, maybe you're going to get a couple of these slow, snoozy eliminations, or maybe you won't. Maybe we'll get some good racing. But what you do have, like John has said, you got 2 really good carryovers. Yep. You got some serious multi-leg action going on tonight, and it doesn't matter if it's an elimination race or not. You can still use those horses to narrow down that those multi-legs, and you can still make money on a night like tonight.
It's a plus EV pool. I mean, it just you have to play it. I mean, just a great opportunity. We're gonna look at the R pick 5 ideas, shortly, but I opted to go 3 singles. I mean, I think there's a couple horses that you can really heavily rely on. But if those horses get beat, I think it's going to pay huge. But again, a sequence that might pay less than it normally would, it gets inflated a little bit because you have that 55,000 in change in carried over money going into that sequence. So we're looking forward to it. And speaking of which, let's get right to it and dig into the action here in race number 1. And this kicks off this carryover sequence, the pick 5 carryover. And nice group that we have here to kick things off. 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, non-winners have won a race lifetime here. And the current choice right now at 2-1 is Major Mickey, and this is a colt trained by Ben Hollingsworth, who I thought looked really impressive in his career debut. I'm hoping he can take a step forward here tonight and start number 2. And you are as well.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same page with this guy. Yeah. Let's take a look at the replay on this guy, John. Absolutely loved the effort put up by this one. Love the barn that he comes out of as well. Benny Hollingsworth there. But this was going to be his first start. We weren't really sure what we were going to see. Coming off those 2 qualifiers, but. Obviously both of us going to go to this guy. I would have to say that we both liked what we saw in here. Now, there's going to be a couple. I got Evans Legacy in for second. This guy's a bit of a mystery to me. I think that the parts are there, the ability's there. It's just a matter of how hard they're going to want to race him tonight. But I think No Waitlist myself, John, is going to take a lot of looks in here. And specifically, I'm playing against No Waitlist.
Yeah, same with me as well. And you could see Trevor's on the outside there from the rail. And this guy's moving well. A couple of reminders there by Trevor. But, I mean, look at the way he's pacing late in the mile. And Trevor's got a pretty good hold on him. To your point, though, about Evans Legacy, I mean, really good late in the mile. And I just, like you, I just don't know what kind of trip this guy's going to work out. I wanted to see more of a wait-and-see approach, but he was moving really well. Now, this son of Cattle Wash, Evans Legacy, he got a chance to qualify with Major Mickey. And Major Mickey was a winner on August 1st, and it looked like maybe he was going to get a little bit tired because there was a rival gaining on him in that qualifying effort. When that horse came up alongside him, though, I mean, he looked so comfortable, and his ears, pinned back, and he was game in victory. So, like you, I loved his career debut, and hopefully he can take another step forward. I think Ben Hollingsworth has to be really excited about this son of Always Be Mickey.
I agree, and the thing is where we're kind of rushed into using this guy, as you and I both know, if he puts another effort on tonight like he did last week, what are you looking at? 2 to 5 or some crazy number? You're never going to get any kind of a price. With No Waitlist in here, odds on Bullfrog, and maybe even Evans Legacy, there's enough to spread it around that you should be able to get a little bit of a price on this horse tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind people going No Waitlist. I mean, this is a horse who's been contesting much tougher company, right? I mean, he did try that grassroots starter race, and he got picked off by Dax Seelster. We've seen some good efforts from that rookie colt this year, but I mean, just taking on Bojangles and all those gold attempts. I mean, just right now just looks like a fringe player in the gold level, but racing well. But still one that I'm going to opt to try and beat here in this spot, I'd say.
Yeah, my only thing with him, too, is that, I hope that we haven't seen a little bit of a kick in the confidence.
Okay.
Having to face Bojangles week in and week out. Sometimes, they can, young age or whatever, they can lose a little bit of their confidence. It might take them a start or two, to kind of refire back up into that winning mode. So I just think that there's an opportunity here to maybe play against what should be the favorite and take a chance with Major Mickey.
Yeah, speaking of favorites, though, just got word board that's a major implications for this pick 5 sequence. The one horse in race 5 is going to be scratched. The Clark Bealby trotter that's I was going to be going all in on as well, making his career debut. So Explosive Landing will be scratched. So adjust your pick 5 tickets and pick 6 tickets accordingly.
And I got him on top, but I went 4D.
I went all in on him because I just trotting in 57 the way he did in that qualifying prep. I feel like he was going to be ready to go. Gonna have to take a couple moments to kind of decide who I'm gonna slot in there because that changes the complexion of this pick 5 ticket greatly. But there's our thoughts there in race number 1, and we're gonna move on to race number 2, and we're gonna preview that gold. And a nice Hostess Gold that we've got a field of 5, but I know it's a short field, but I tell you, I think this is gonna be a pretty competitive race because I think just about everybody's got a chance here to get the job done here in this spot, especially if the trip scenarios work out in the favor of some other people. PL Spencer, he's coming off a Dream of Glory victory, but he did have a qualifying prep to follow that up. Got beat by Drawn Impression in that effort, out-trotted in the lane. So this is a colt who's looked like he's been the best here at the provincial level. Did you go his direction tonight?
No, threw him in for second. Okay. You?
I went price shopping here in this race. I have a feeling we went to the same guy.
Richie Rich.
That's who I went to.
Yes,
yeah, speaking of qualifiers,
go.
I mean, that was a nice qualifying prep to get him geared up here tonight.
Yes, very same qualifier.
Yep.
That's what we like about this one. So let's take a look at the Richie Rich's qualifier, and we're also going to get a look at PL Spencer in here as well. Spencer's going to be chopping, and Richie Rich going to be sitting 4th on the rail. Not going to do a whole lot in here, but I just like the way that he was moving on the end of it. This, to me, this is the now horse. Everybody else has to beat him. PL Spencer looks like he's a really nice colt too, but right now I say Richie Rich is the now guy. Look at the body language on Todd Rashford. I mean, he's just looking around having fun out there with his colt. Drawn Impression looking good, and the McClure-driven PL Spencer also looking good in there. But to me, Richie Rich, they're going to have to knock him off the steeple right now, John. I think, like I said, this is the it kind of a horse. What's your thoughts on this 2-horse Galen Urso? I threw him in for 3rd.
Yeah, you know what? I think, as Garnet alluded to in his write-up in the Journal, just taking on tougher rivals in Kentucky. I mean, can't say he made a bad account of himself by any means. I thought 2 back, his effort was really good. Just didn't have that same level of, you say he didn't have that same level of pop, but he still trotted home in 27 flat. But again, that's a tough group that he was taking on over there. Last time we saw him at a gold on Industry Day, not Industry Day, I should say, at Grand River on July 16, put forth a winning effort, and he fended off P.L. Spencer in that try, doing it first over. So if he's at his best, he merits a lot of respect here, I'd say.
He does. I mean, I don't see him at his best. That's kind of where I'm kind of stuck with him right now. Like, I see no flash from Galen Urso right now, and you can really notice it on the back end of his quarters. This is a horse that used to, like last year, every once in a while that he would get a covered up trip, and my goodness, could he ever come up with a ridiculously fast quarter on the end of it. And this year, his last one 27 flat, and that was 7th, finishing 6th, but that was down in Lexington. I mean, I'm not 100% sure if I couldn't come a last quarter in 27 flat over Lexington. That's pretty fast, pretty nice track in there, and you can see like the winds are there. He hasn't lost it that way. It just seems like the flash and the pizzazz that I thought he would have coming back this year hasn't been there. But it's a long season, and maybe we'll see it, before the season's out. But right now, to me, Richie Rich and PL Spencer, they are the 2 horses to beat.
And Richie Rich obviously making a good account of himself, his first time competing in a gold, getting the job done, and then being second from the rail a couple starts later. I'm not sure if that break was, by virtue of him maybe being on the small track last time out, but I thought he was moving really well. I know he never improved the position in that qualifying effort that we highlighted, but even after the wire, this guy was doing some trotting. I like the way that he was moving, late in that prep.
Yeah, and he's another one there, just came back this year with vicious speed on the end of it when he's covered up. So he's going to be tough to hold off. All right,
that's race 2, and that's going to be our OSS Gold for 3-year-old trotting colts. And we're going to skip ahead to race number 4, and that kicks off the pick 6 sequence. Again, another carryover opportunity here that kicks off in race number 4. I believe $5,000 in change is that carryover for this pick 6. And I think all eyes are going to be on the 4-horse Lavender Sealster, Randy, because she's been taking on some tougher rivals. I think for her, if she's a boom or bust candidate. If she paces, I think she has a really, really good shot of getting her picture taken. But if she doesn't, she's susceptible to getting beat. I'm just not sure why she's putting in those steps. Just doesn't seem comfortable right now at all times.
Yeah, I got her in for second. I just can't support her up on top because, like you said, even if she stays at it, are we going to get paid?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be the same as you. I think there's going to be a lot of looks on her tonight. She stands out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? I'm going to Malicious Speed. I think that this one's getting really, really close. The Carl Jamieson filly on the inside. I think Tyler Boer's picking himself up a rather live drive here. I think that Jody goes with Brisk Sealster. Looks to me like he's a part owner of this one with Courtney Bishop, and then Courtney sending in a bridle change on this one. She's going to go from a blind bridle to a set of blinkers on Brisk Sealster. I'm not sure if I think that maybe if Jody had a choice, if he didn't own Brisk Sealster, I think he maybe leaks down to the one-horse Malicious Speed, because I think this one's just starting to kind of come into her own. But where I'm going to go is the guy that also has been driving Malicious Speed, Jonathan Drury. He elects to go to LDS Kimberly in this one here, and this is the way that I'm going to go as well. We're going to show you the replay on her. I'm going to say good on end for this one. You can see, she shows 27 flat, 27 and 1 on the end of her, so she always shows pretty big ability. She was third in the Tompkins Gears to TH Check Me Out, finishing third last quarter, 27 flat. But I thought this one was a good one. She got away way at the back of the boat, and JD had to stay on the outside with her, but he did find her cover. Cover didn't really take her, right up into the race, but now here she comes again with one of these fast quarters on the end of it. Always seems like she's coming forward. So, she's got the 6-hole to deal with in here. He hasn't tried leaving with her yet, but who knows? Maybe tonight will be the night that he decides to leave, or at least try to keep her close to Lavender Sealster. And the way that she's progressing, LD's Kimberly, I think she could come up with a good effort in here.
And she was third to a rival who you loved that night, Sangria Summer, who you went all in on that night, and she responded with a pretty good effort. So LD's Kimberly, again, hit the board in 3 of 6 tries this year, has won that. When she stays pacing, has put forth some good efforts.
I'm not done with Sangria Summer.
No, are we going to see her later on in the program here tonight too?
She could.
All right. So there's our thoughts in race number 4, and that kicks off that pick 6 sequence. A couple of other horses that I'm intrigued with in that spot, but we'll get to that later on in the program as well. Race number 6, we've got our first look at some Maple Leaf Trot eliminations here. And we are going to look at this first elimination, I should say. And we've got a field of 8, and this kicks off our late pick 5. We've got 3 pick 5s tonight because we do have 13 races. The third one kicking off in race number 9. Eidos Kronos, 9-5 morning line favorite. This guy's coming off a nice victory in the Vincennes. And again, added Lasix in that effort, and he looked extra sharp, but he's looked sharp all season long since coming here to North America.
Yeah, and out of the Great Bold Eagle, another European horse that I was a huge fan of for the Melander stable. So let's take a look at this win in the Vincennes. First start Lasix for this guy, and it certainly didn't seem to slow him down in the least. Mile and 150 and 4, that new lifetime mark for this guy. And 8 starts so far this year, John, and 7 times top 2. And look at this win. Like, this is what sold me. It's not a matter of, is he going to win? It's just a matter of, do you think we're going to get him slowed down to bring him back to the winner's circle? I'm going to go with him up on top, and he's my all-in bet tonight. Okay. I like him better than anybody. I like Drawn Impression too. She's down 10-1 morning line, but I threw her in for second. I think her speed can go with anybody, and as long as Louis is able to give her the right kind of trip, I think she's going to fire real hard. And sometimes speed is all it takes to get you by, a winner. She's so much more handier now than we've seen when she first started her young career as a rookie, when we got to see her compete here over this circuit, and left out hard in the steal. And I think she was going to be a winner if she didn't make a miscue, just leading up to that final turn. She was in a really good spot. A couple starts ago, though, here on the big track in the preferred trot, she looked a little too grabby, a little bit too keen. And I don't know if Louis wanted to move her as early as he did, but I think he really had no choice because she wanted to go. And obviously a nice effort there, a nice victory by Osceola, who you liked that evening as well. But I think Drawn Impression, one to look out for here, one that merits respect. We've got a familiar face returning, though, here, too, who's done some good things over this track, Highland Kismet. And that was an eye-catching performance, a record performance at Lexington in his most recent try. Where'd you rank him tonight? Didn't.
Really?
No,
Okay.
not going to use him tonight. He's going to
Okay.
have to prove to me that he's with these. I look at it this way, if he didn't have the fanfare, the big fan behind him, you know what I mean? And I mean, trust me, I mean, when this horse come out as a 3-year-old, I loved him and I have him pegged right to the Hambletonian. I love the season that he put together. Still love him now. But he's made a lot of mistakes going into a new barn, and he was a winner, eye-catching performance. But two things: number one, it's 50 at the Red Mile, and number two, who did he beat? Who did he beat in that bunch? You know what I mean? Did he beat horses like Gaines Hanover, Hill Exotic, Drawn? No, not at all. So he's going to have to prove to me that he belongs back with this bunch.
Missed a month leading up to that event, and he was coming off a tough trip a few starts back, and then didn't really have much to offer, getting away towards the back of the pack in an overflow field in that stakes event there in the Hamble Maturity. I like the way he fired back. I mean, maybe, who knows, maybe he was dealing with, a couple of minor things because of the time away, and he just shows up at Lexington with the guy who's been familiar with him, who got a chance to sit behind him last year, and Tim Tetrick. Going to get a chance to sit behind him. He's going to get a chance to sit behind Highland Kismet again tonight. And I'm hoping maybe that win at Lexington, though, Randy, can kind of instill some confidence because he's got so much speed. I mean, even in that qualifying effort, when he did make a miscue, he was going to fly by, and he started trotting up a storm. But, I mean, we know the speed that he's got. I mean, when he puts it all together, I mean, he's a main danger.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And it just kind of bothers me a little bit, too. Like, he's got an inside post. We haven't seen him back up here for a while. And without the hobbles. Now, he's raced different times up here without the hobbles. He's raced with the hobbles. Bobby always told me he thought he was a quicker horse without the hobbles. But to the same effect, he can make breaks easier without the hobbles. So to me, he's just a big Rubik's Cube. Love the horse. I want to start to see some consistency, and then trust me, I'll be the first one to jump on board.
And he made a miscue with the hobbles on that June 7th qualifier, and Nancy Tactor.
Both times with the hobbles.
Then Nancy Tactor took them off. I did a paddock interview with her at the Meadowlands, and she said she's in agreement with Bob. She says, I don't think the hobbles make any difference for this guy. I think that he doesn't need them, and he's got the speed with or without them. So there's our thoughts there in race number 6. A nice group of horses to kick off the first of 2 Maple Leaf Trot eliminations. And we're going to stick to the trotters here, but we're going to get some rookie trotters in a 2-year-old open here. A nice group. We've got another great mass. He's coming off a miscue in his most recent try, but he has a couple of gold victories to his name. The Green Gazoo, who's put forth some good efforts in his young career. But there's one here that put forth a nice effort in his career debut coming off a lone qualifier. And that's Trouble with Names. And I know this might be a tougher spot for him, Randy. I'm willing to back him in this spot again.
You going this one too?
Yep.
You're the best. Yeah, me too. Trouble with Names. You know what it is with me, John? Every once in a while, a horse will win that. It's not just that he's showing you that he wins. It's how he does it.
Yep.
It's the gait and the ability and everything that he brings. So let's take a look at the replay with Trouble with Names. This is just Ontario Sire Stakes grassroots, and he didn't even go off as favorite this night. But I didn't have him on top. Did you?
I wasn't working that night, actually.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody had him up on top, but I had him in for 4th. The big reason why was because McClure could have went somewhere else, but he qualified this guy and he went back to him. So everybody was giving him a second look in here, and it was just an incredible, and it's the way that he's doing it, John.
Yeah.
And now look at this. It looked like they were starting to swarm him, and now he's shut down again.
Yeah.
And the gait, the size, everything about him, straight as a string, Bobby coming right back to him again. Anything that you could like about Trouble with Names, I think that we're going to see that in here. And it's a 2-year-old open, so I mean it's going to be a tough bunch. Mike Me Up's going to be tough in here. He's racing good. There's a couple another great mass has already been a gold winner. He's going to be tough in here. The Great Gazoo, you brought him up, but and LP Bay, Maize and Blue, all horses that to me are really. But there's just something about the way that he did it. I know that it's 56 last quarter and 28-1, but he bookended it. He went out of there 28-1. And what got me is when, like I said, when they started to get close to him, he didn't cower.
Nope.
He just moved away from them, and without even seemed to me like he didn't even change gears. What's in there? So Trouble with Names. That's the way I'm going as well.
Rock is tipping 3 wide on the turn. I mean, like you said, they were coming at Bob. And as soon as he hit the top of the lane, you could see a couple of reminders. But his first lifetime start, and and the colt responded pretty well. How about Pat Dillon and Paul Reed again? Obviously in partnership with Flowing Tribute. And they've got a nice son of muscle mass here who, curious to see what kind of showing he puts forth against these. I know he tried the grassroots on August 8th, but this could end up being a gold colt by season's end.
He shows me gold.
All right, dropping nearly 7 seconds after that qualifying victory. So
That's
there's some speed and talent there. Yeah, there's a look at race number 7. We're going to move on to race number 8. We're still going to stick to some rookies, but this time on the pacing side. And there's a couple of horses here that we're really excited to get a chance to kind of see again. And those are the 2 morning line choices there. Illicit Behavior, he's going to get morning line billing as the favorite here at 5-2. Dime Better as well at 3-1. And the last time these two hooked up, Randy, it was Dime Better who got the edge over that Sean Stacy trainee. Things didn't work out for Dime Better at Cuarta Downs last time out. Charted with broken equipment. It was a broken hopple in that effort. Jonathan Drury was guiding him in that event. Just looked like he was going to be like a good chance to get the job done there before that broken hopple.
JD must have been sick.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you want to go down in a race like
Absolutely
that.
not,
He's
yep.
30 cents on the dollar. He does everything proper by the horse, and then the hobble breaks.
Yep.
So, bad luck for them. So let's go to August the 1st with Dime Better. And that August the 16th line at Kawartha, that was on a 15-day rotation. And he still looked like he was easily going to get the job done there. And, I know it was just grassroots, but trust me, this guy's this start here, you'll see where he's a winner and does get the best of Illicit Behavior, who I have in for second in here. And at this point, to me, it looks like Illicit Behavior is gone. He kind of opens up a little bit on James, but this little guy at James, boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, he don't want to give in.
No, and listen, Illicit Behavior worked out a pretty nice trip there with Bobby, but, so these guys matched up in that effort. Edge going to Dime Better in that spot. I opted to go back to Illicit Behavior, but I know Dime Better is going to be tough because there's some speed there. I mean, we've seen it. We saw it in the qualifying efforts. We saw it in his lifetime debut. So one that I think has major bounce back potential here in this spot. Illicit Behavior trying the golds last time, though, Randy, was never really a factor. I just like that Billy was able to kind of keep him quiet and keep him covered up and just let him pace a little bit. I mean, you could see how grabby he is and how much of a handful he's been for Bobby over his early tries in his young career. But we know this guy's got a wicked turn of foot, and we saw that on August 8th. I mean, he ambushed that call sign Rooster, who came back with a win in his next start after. You could see Louis look over, and Bob's just a blur going right by him. And this Sean Stacy trainee, I mean, he's got some serious speed. If he learns to maybe just kind of harness it at the right time, I think he's going to be a really, really nice colt.
Yeah, interesting, that you got Illicit Behavior from the 6 hole, you got Dime Better from the rail. They're both Better's Delights out of Art Major mares, and they're both going to be our top 2 picks in here. You're going Illicit Behavior.
Yep.
I'm going Dime Better. Interesting.
And Brindle, obviously coming off a miscue 2 at Kawartha Downs. He's a son of Bulldog Hanover. I mean, he's been racing well so far this year.
He has. Threw him in for 4th. He could come up with a big effort. Other than Illicit Behavior, dropping down out of the gold, to me, the one that really shows dropping way down in competition is the 2-horse Corona Sealster.
All right, there's our thoughts. There's our thoughts there in that race number 8, and that's a part of that pick 6 sequence as well. So we're going to move on to race number 9 that kicks off the late pick 5, and we've got more stakes action, I should say. Casual Breeze for 3-year-old trotting fillies. A field of 6 here, and the morning line favorite's going to be our Duchess, and deservedly so, because that was a nice effort in the Del Monica Hanover last time out, and I think she's going to have every chance to kind of repeat, and we've seen her have success here on Canadian soil as well, put forth some good efforts, but you're going to try and go price shopping here in this spot. Tell us more.
Where'd you go?
I went to Titian. I'm intrigued by this, Dave Maneri trainee. I know Lucas Wallen, shipping him to Canada. He's going to be in Dave Maneri's barn here tonight. I think there's some speed and talent with this daughter of Muscle Hill, so I'll kind of give her a shot on top. But did you go price shopping?
Bone and said you were going this one because it was second start Lasix.
That's true. That helps your cause. That's your favorite angle.
That's my angle.
Yeah, that's
Throw
your
me
angle.
a bone here, John.
I should know better. But I don't even know who you went in this spot. That's
I went Zed Athena.
All right. Okay,
yeah.
Zed
now,
Athena.
and the big reason is because I really love the way that she's racing right now. I love the speed that she brings. I love the gait that she brings. You know, no real problems or anything. So let's take a look at Zed Athena here. This is her last start. Bobby decides to chop it. And you can see there that it's been a while since he's gone back to the front with this girl. One time she had a good front end mission on the bottom. The next one out of the 10 hole, she was parked at the half in 56 before she got there and tired. But again, the body language on Bobby here, you know, just kind of going for a ride in the park here right now with this one. He's even, you know, shaking his head at Scott there. You're not going by. See his head bopping up and down. You ain't going by. So anyway, Zed Athena, the way that I'm going to go in here, I big respect for our Duchess, big respect for Sprite Sealster and Foxy Amy. Haven't seen a whole lot to do with the one that you like in here. Even PL Sapphire is really starting to come around, but this is at Athena, and we seen her in front there. I'm not saying that that's the way that I like her the best. I think sometimes when she comes off the pace, that's when I like her the best.
I have to say, I do think our Duchess is going to be incredibly tough to beat because she's been jostling with some of the top fillies, you know,
and
in the division.
she was up here last year.
Yeah, and I think she won the elimination of the, was it the Peaceful Way?
Yes.
Yeah, and, you know, she's back here on Canadian soil, and one that's coming off a really sharp effort. It's hard to dismiss her. I'm just intrigued by Titian. I'm not sure what's, you know, there, but again, second time Lasix, she got out sprinted last time out at Chester. You know, just going to give her a shot here back on the big track, and hoping maybe she can play the role of upsetter.
Very lightly raced, eh? 5 starts last year, 4 starts this year.
Kind of seems to be like a common theme with certain, you know, Lucas Wallen trainees.
$250,000 Muscle Hill baby.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas Wallen, he just takes his time. If he doesn't feel like they're ready, or maybe they have a few minor issues, he's not gonna rush a horse. He's gonna take their time with him, and that's why he's trained so many talented
You've
youngsters.
been cooking this one up, haven't you?
I'm trying to guess right here. Just hoping I can guess right and get rewarded. But I could run into a couple of juggernauts here in this spot. We're going to move on to race number 11, and that is we got overnight action, but it's a pretty good field in that overnight. Fillies and mares preferred here, and there's a sharp mare by the name of In the Spotlight who just continues to rack up W's. I mean, this was one that recently, you know, came over to Ontario that Pollock Racing sent to Dave Maneri. I mean, we've seen him sent numerous horses here, and Dave's had a great deal of success with plenty of them. And here's a nice, very fast daughter of Better's Delight who has worked her way up to the preferred level. And listen, she's going to be a speed threat in here if she gets her way again or is able to kind of just, you know, just keep on motoring. She's going to be tough to beat. Did you go this direction?
Put her in for second.
Okay.
I went Caviar and Crackers, another one that's obviously an it horse too. And let's take a look at the replay on her. In my opinion, Caviar and Crackers, I thought that her last 2 starts, you know, she kind of came off that win list that she was owning big time. But, and you know, just in my opinion, I think that both times she just had a little bit too far to come. Mm-hmm. Both times she fired home huge, 26-1 both times, you know, but it was just a little bit too far to come. You can see where she is here. She's way off the pace and in the spotlight up in front for JR. But she's going to come. She's going to be making a lot of ground. She's passing some nice fillies on the outside, but it's just too far. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe with the middle of the gate, Eddie's going to be able to keep her a little bit closer, or they're going to get down to the half a little quicker than 55 and change. I need that.
She's got that gate speed if Eddie elects to use her. I mean, she's changed up her racing style and she can get out of there comfortably. Now, I think there's going to be some speed to her inside here, but like you said, just too much work to do.
Where'd you go?
Moving well. I went Caviar and Crackers as well.
Perfect.
Hoping maybe we can work out an easier trip here in this spot, because in the spotlight she is going to be tough to beat if she continues to just keep on motoring out of there.
I think once in a while too with Caviar and Crackers, I like when he changes her style,
absolutely.
when he goes a different way, because I think it makes her stronger the next start too.
All right, nice fillies and mares preferred that we have in race number 11. That closes out 3 consecutive races there with some overnight action, but some competitive fields there to close out this Friday night program with 13 on tap. Speaking of stakes action, we're going to also recap the second Maple Leaf Trot elimination. We previewed the first one. We're going to look at the second one, and we've got the reigning champion in the Maple Leaf Trot returning, Curriculum. A year ago is kind of when his reign of supremacy kind of started. Mm-hmm. In the elimination, he picked up Scott Zeron at the controls for the first time, did Curriculum, and he just went off and did some pretty good things. I think 13 career tries. These two have been paired up together 5 trips to the winner's circle, and you have to figure he's going to be the one to beat. And you could see this John Cashman Memorial victory here, Randy. I mean, never saw a set of pylons. He was able to flush out cover with private access there. But I mean, when this guy works out a good trip in the lane, good luck catching him.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Scotty Money, second over at the head of the lane. Hey, hello. Good to see the kid back in town, you Chinese food flying fella. I'm also going to go to Periculum in here. I think he's going to be incredibly tough to beat in here. Logan Park, what's your thoughts? Is this going to be a quick bounce back, or are we going to wait a week? Are we going to change things up a little bit? Is Dougie just going to say, hey, I'm cool with it, and just head on out of there with him? I got him in for second. I think that he's Periculum's biggest competition.
I can't see Doug taking back here in this spot. Outside draw or not, we know how handy this guy is. I think just the trip didn't work out at Georgian last time out. I mean, Trevor was chopping the mile last time out with Sid the Kid, and they were rolling.
Yeah.
And, sometimes, just the trip scenarios don't work out in that spot. Still was game in defeat, was only missed out by a neck. So this is a horse that I think is going to flash gate speed outside draw or not. And, I mean, he's going to merit a lot of respect. I'm just more so curious to find out maybe where Periculum is going to get away in the spot from the inside. And maybe some other rivals are going to be able to kind of steal this race. Maybe Logan Park's one of them. It's that late turn of foot that Periculum has, though. I mean, it's going to be tough to fend him off. That's the thing.
And he's on his game right now.
Really
That's
sharp.
the thing too.
All right, there's our look at the second Maple Leaf Trot elimination, and we spoke about carryovers. We've got a couple of them. We're going to look at some early pick 5 action, and as you could see, that question mark, the mystery box, closing things out in the last leg. I was all in on that Clark Bealby trotter making his career debut there, and that's going to be explosive landing. I'm going to have to find some other rivals to slot in before the sequence starts, but we're going to look at race number 1. I'm all in on this son of Always Be Mickey, Major Mickey. I'm going to use 4 out of the 5 horses, and to your point, maybe I shouldn't have left off Get the Green. I mean, again, 5 horses, might as well hit the all button, but just not in my nature per se for me. Race 3, I will go all in on Lasting Dream. How sharp has that filly been?
Oh, unbelievable.
Razor sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I also singled her as well.
And race 4, I'll go 3 deep. Lavender Sealster, the one to beat. She is going to be my top pick, even if she's a risky proposition. Annie's Diva intrigues me. Missed a month coming into that Ontario debut last time out. Georgian, good draw to work with, back on regular rotation. Maybe there's something there with this Daughter of Cattle Wash. And all bets on Kelly. You can't really knock the efforts because we've never gotten a chance to really watch a race. She's made miscues in both of her tries. I like that qualifying effort to take Snow Bull last time out. Chris Matthews was in the bike for that morning prep. Now we get Doug McNair back aboard. So I think if the starter of All Bets Off can stay at it, who's to say she can't get the job done and play the role of spoiler?
All right there, Riddler. Fill in that question mark on the bottom there. You can't wait any longer.
I still got before race number 1. When the graphic shows up on race number 1, that's when I'll fill in the missing blank. We'll go to your ticket here.
Okay.
All right, 1 single for you, and that's going to be Lasting Dream in this spot. I think you can almost make this pick 5 a pick 3 or pick 4 sequence, because she's going to be, I think, a free bingo square here.
Yeah, I wanted to also say Major Mickey, single Major Mickey too, and I didn't use the horse that I have in for second, Evans Legacy, but I did use No Wait List just in case I'm kind of undervaluing this guy a little bit. So I'm going to go 2-3, and then I'm going to go 1-3 in here. PL Spencer, Richie Rich. If Richie Rich was on a regular racing rotation where he hadn't missed that month and just with the 1 qualifier, I'd have singled him too. I love the way that he's racing. And then singled in race number 3. In race number 4, I went a little bit deeper here. I used the Jameson horse on the inside, Malicious Speed. I used Lavender Sealster because I don't know what I'm getting. If she shows up with her A game, I don't think there's anything in here that can touch her, but she hasn't showed up with her A game in here in a bit. And to try and win this race and maybe knock a few people out, I'm going to go with the 6 horse LDS Kimberly for JD. And in race number 5, 3 deep again with the scratch of Explosive Landing. I was originally going 4 deep in this race, John, but now it's going to be Not at the Table. Carlos, Ice Pack with Jody Jameson and Doug Bowens. He hasn't been doing much lately, but a couple of times in that Millard, it looked like he was a pretty good fit in there against some nice horses. He drops back into the maiden. And Bob from Hockey, I'm going to throw him up. I mean, every once in a while he comes up with a big effort, and Chuck One Dude's in town tonight. And one thing I do know about Rick Zieron, he always loves to send Chucky home with a win. So hopefully Bob from Hockey is that win.
Stayed trotting in his most recent try, and you have to figure if he can stay at it, he's going to have a a good position early.
And the Xeron horse finally win the other night that was giving me fits, Caballero.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
We
So
put it
who
together.
knows? Maybe we're looking at the same sort of situation.
Absolutely. And we're going to look at your pick 6 ticket. There's a question mark in race number 5. Did you go all in on him in the pick 6 sequence?
In pick 6,
Yeah.
I went all in.
On explosive landing.
Yes,
so you've
I
got
did.
you've got some blanks to fill as well.
So I got a blank to fill in as well, yeah, in race number 5. And I can tell you right now,
You're going
we can
all
fill
in on
that.
you're going all in on Eidos Kronos though. That's going to be your all in tonight, I reckon.
Yeah, he is my all-in play for tonight. And in race number 5 on my pick 6 ticket, I am going to go 3 and 7.
All right. 3 and 7 there in second leg number 2 there of that pick 6 sequence that's got a carryover of over $5,000.
Thank
there.
you,
So we're gonna.
producer Luke.
So there's Randy's thoughts in his pick 6. Going to go all in on Eidos Kronos here in that sequence. Not going deep in the other legs, just too deep across there. So there's your thoughts, and there's my thoughts there, and I'll fill in my thoughts shortly. And just going to go all in on illicit behavior. I understand that.
You're going to do call a friend.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a call a friend.
Call Dad.
I should. When I struggle with the race, I just go to him and say, give me your thoughts. He usually fills out the blanks. And yeah, I'm going to go all in on illicit behavior, hoping that he can get the job done, Randy. But Dime Better is going to be tough, and I'm going to have to figure things out in race number 5. But a couple of different ticket ideas there from Randy and I here in that pick 6 sequence, as well as that pick 5 sequence that's going to get underway shortly. I'm not sure what that current pool is at right now, but I'm sure it's a pretty good one, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking to play it because it is going to be a great pool. And we spoke on some stakes action tonight. We're going to preview briefly some stakes action tomorrow. Of course, we've got plenty of eliminations as well, but we've got a couple of nice finals as well. So the Canadian Pacing Derby eliminations will be contested tomorrow. Sabonis being supplemented off a victory in the Dan Patch Stakes.
It's a very nice victory.
He was an invite to that stakes event, and he follows up that victory, supplementing here to this rich Canadian final, and I don't blame him. This guy's been razor sharp.
Always nice to see Brett Pelling in town.
And by the missile, he's going to be installed as the morning line favorite. He's coming off a really nice second place effort. Randy, he's a guy who you never, as of late I should say, you don't know what you're going to get from him because he's got all the talent and the speed. He hasn't put it together consistently over the last year or so.
Yeah, Buckabed Hanover getting a new driver.
Yep.
And I, myself, am going to go Dexter's way.
Captain Luke, he picked up Captain Luke a couple starts ago, and he guided him to a perfect trip and a trip to the winner's circle as well on Hambletonian Day. Peaceful Way eliminations, Peaceful Way final, I should say here, and highlighted is the morning line favorite, One Bell. This could be a really special filly, Randy.
Could be, yeah. And she's going to have to do it because she's, a full field, one trailer, outside post position. Feel really bad that Wish Upon a Star Dale had to draw the 10 because I really think that she could mix things up.
And we're going to get a chance to look at that William Wellwood Memorial Final
This is a
again.
nice race.
If you win this race just like last year, not an automatic bid to the Mohawk Million because that format has changed a little bit. So Magic Punk coming off a very nice elimination score. Looked very professional doing it too.
Yeah, I think that both horses, both limb wins, Magic Punk and Ardon, both really look good. But this five horse, I really do think that this guy is really starting to come into his own, and his own might be just as good as the 2 and the 6.
We talked about it. He seemed to have been getting better, in both starts, and he improved in that elimination. And his half-brother Maryland winning the stakes event last time out, so he's looking to follow suit to his sibling.
Picks up a pretty good driver too, right?
Todd McCarthy, not bad. Not a bad replacement.
Not
You
a
can't
bad
go Dexter Dunn's.
replacement.
Wait, here's your plays of the night. Let's take us through it, Randy.
Okay, so my all-in is going to be coming along in race 66 for my all-in. Waples Watch, Trouble with Names. Me and John both like this one. Also in there, Beat the Fave is going to be Zetathena. And I think I can catch a little bit of a price on her. And worth a look is going to be Miss Quicksand.
Like it.
I used her as a play a few starts ago. She didn't disappoint me. Going to come back with her. And one time, John, anytime I seen Louis Wah on Miss Quicksand, it was printed money. And Louis Wah will be driving her tonight.
Good draw to work with as well. Plays of the night for me, best bet's going to be Major Mickey to kick things off. My all-in illicit behavior. I've got a couple of price plays to close things out. Price play Absolution from Post 9. Good effort from that mare last time out, hoping for a better trip. And I'm going back to a Better Not Mock Me as a value play, hoping that maybe she can work out a cozier trip tonight.
She's always there, always seems to be just on the verge of getting the job done. But boy, oh boy, does she ever lack room on the end of every mile, doesn't she?
Yep, and there's some thoughts from our other resident handicappers. There's Ghislaine Paquette, Major Mickey ready to win. I sure hope so, Ghislaine, here tonight. Randy does as well. Doug Henwood going Gaines Hanover for his deep crunch, and Garnet Barnsdale spot play is going to be illicit behavior. All right, we got you through the pre-show there. A lot to talk about, a lot to catch up and recap. Shortly, they're going to be out track as we kick off race number 1. And of course, Pick 5 carryover of over $55,000. Stick around. We've got a busy 13 races ahead.